Light has extraordinary power to create emotions in a photo. Most photographers know that light is important, but it's still something everyone should strive to learn about and improve. If you master light, you master photography. After all, photography is light, and without it, you couldn't take pictures in the first place. There are so many types of lights in photography, and they each create different effects, and we will be exploring them in this video. Welcome to WeGotMedia. We are a multimedia agency that offers professional services and training in all areas of digital media such as graphic design, video production, audio production, and digital marketing. This channel is dedicated in providing free informational tips and easy tutorials on how to make digital content using various software in the digital media space. Number 1. Natural lighting. If you want to use natural light in your photography, it's important to understand the angle of the sun and how that will affect your composition. For example, for most of the day, the sun is directly over top, so your subject will be lit from above. A sunny day without clouds will result in more intense shadows, while a sky full of clouds will diffuse the sunlight so that the contrast of light on your subject is less harsh. Number 2. Front lighting. Front light occurs when the light source is directly in front of your subject. Since the light is not at an angle, this can result in a limited amount of shadows. The light will be spread evenly across the photo, with no section more or less exposed than the rest. Flat light can be good for portraits, especially if your subject has wrinkles or blemishes that they want to de-emphasize. However, if you are attempting to create a portrait that shows a lot of personality, front lighting will not provide the detail you need in order to bring the subject's character to life. Another benefit of using front lighting is if you are exploring symmetry photography, as the lack of shadows helps to make both sides of the face appear more symmetrical. Number 3. Backlighting. Backlight is light that hits an actor or subject from behind, typically higher than the subject it is exposing. Backlighting an object or actor from the background creates more depth and shape to a subject. Backlighting is a main component of the traditional three-point lighting technique and is what makes a frame feel three-dimensional rather than flat. When a backlight hits a subject at an angle, it is referred to as a kicker or rim light. It creates depth, defines shapes, reduces flatness of an image, increases dramatic effect, and separates a subject from the background. Number 4. Soft lighting. Soft light is diffused light that avoids casting harsh shadows on its subject. This is otherwise known as diffused light. Instead of hardest shadows, the division between light and dark becomes gradual and even. You'll know you have achieved this lighting effect when your subject lacks extreme highlights and lowlights. Soft lighting is smoother and has a gradual division between light and shadow. It's often used to give the subject a softer or romantic feel. Also, the facial features and imperfections of the subject are less noticeable. Number 5. Hard lighting. Hard light is a quality of light that casts harsh and well-defined shadows. A subject or scene lit with this type of light has a very abrupt transition between the highlights and the shadows. Hard light typically comes from a relatively small source relative to the subject. Light sources that are further away also produce harder light and sharper shadows. Number 6. Loop lighting. Loop lighting is a lighting pattern that creates a circular shadow on the subject's face just under the nose. You can achieve this by placing the key light 45 degrees to the side of the subject and raising it just above their eye line. The circle or loop shape that sits just below the nose is on the opposite side of where you place your light. It is also typically marked by a longer shadow under the chin and jaw due to the downward slope of the light. Loop lighting is one of the most common lighting setups used in portrait photography because it is flattering for most faces. Number 7. Broad lighting. Broad lighting is a type of lighting setup where the area of a subject's face that is facing the camera is lit more brightly. The term broad lighting comes from lighting the broad side of a subject's face. It is also one of the typical photography lighting setups for shooting portraits. Broad lighting is typically less flattering for a subject because it widens the face. However, it's beneficial to use subjects that have a more narrow face and want the look of a wider face. Number 8. Short lighting. Short lighting is a lighting technique used primarily in portrait photography in which the far side of a subject's face is lit relative to the camera. This leaves the near side of the face darker or entirely shadowed. Executing this lighting technique well has just as much to do with the angle of the subject's face and the positioning of the camera as it does with the light itself. It is the exact opposite of broad lighting. Number 9. Butterfly lighting. Butterfly lighting is named after the specific type of shadow that is created on the subject's face. To achieve this, you need to position your light in front and above your subject to create a butterfly-shaped shadow under their nose. This lighting is often seen in glamour shots and headshots. It will also serve to highlight the other facial features with the same level of severity, which can be great for accentuating high cheekbones, but may not be useful if your model has deep-set eyes, as it can result in too much shadow under the eyes. Number 10. Rembrandt lighting. Rembrandt lighting is a standard lighting technique that is used in studio portrait photography and cinematography. It can be achieved using one light and a reflector, or two lights, and is popular because it is capable of producing images which appear both natural and compelling with a minimum of equipment. Rembrandt lighting is characterized by an illuminated triangle under the eye of the subject on the less illuminated side of the face. This style of lighting was named after Dutch painter Rembrandt, who occasionally used this type of lighting to paint his subjects. Number 11. Split lighting. Split lighting is a lighting technique that lights up half of a subject's face while leaving the other half in a shadow. This splitting effect is achieved by a light source that is perpendicular to the subject, illuminating directly from one specific side. For this, you'll have to place your subject at a 90 degrees angle, move the light away for a harsher effect, and use a reflector to soften shadows. This is also similar to Rembrandt lighting. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more informational videos related to the media industry. See you in the next video.